Hey, what is going on, Vikings fans? Skol back again, and I am super excited to be bringing you guys this video. We got some NFL draft coverage. I've been diving in to a couple players who are going in day 2, day 3, trying to find some sleepers that I want you guys to get familiar with. You may have heard of one guy, but I got 2 guys for the Vikings that I think they could take on a later day, such as day 2 or day 3, and you guys have probably never heard of these guys, but let me tell you, if the Vikings could get their hands on one of these 2, I will be absolutely ecstatic. And I want to show you guys both these players, tell you what they are all about, what they could bring to the Minnesota Vikings. I think they would fit our scheme. I think they would just fit in perfectly with the Vikings. Anyways, if you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, comment any other sleepers that you guys may have. Anyways, I'm going to be talking about 2 players the Vikings should draft that you have probably never heard of. Let's get into it. All right, so the first guy I have is a Clemson wide receiver, Amari Rodgers. Now, you may be saying, like, how have we never heard of a guy that played wide receiver at Clemson? Listen, this guy is special, and I think he got overshadowed a lot this past year by just all the other big name receivers going around in the NCAA and how good the other draft class was last year. He's supposed to be going day 2, even maybe day 3. Clemson wide receiver Amari Rodgers, something about him. He's only 5'10". He does not have this huge catch radius as you see some of these top prospects coming out. What I do like about Amari, though, and that's what I'm getting to you guys. Like I said, he's 5'10". He can really do it all. His dad is actually T. Martin. And if you guys don't know who T. Martin was, T. Martin is probably one of the best wide receiver coaches in college football history. And he recently, this past offseason, actually just got hired by the Baltimore Ravens. So props to him. But he's developed a ton of receivers. I mean, for example, the latest one he's been developing was Michael Pittman. You know, Michael Pittman, he's a big 6'4" body. He turned him into a great route runner. And this is Amari's dad. And Amari Rodgers, you know, he can really do it all. He has this breakaway speed that you never really got to see at Clemson. You can run him all over the field. You can play him outside, inside, because what makes him so special is that he can do it all. And even though he is technically undersized, you would want your receivers a little taller than 5'10", 5'9". However, his releases, his route running, he can run the whole route tree. He can run outs like beautifully. He can run drags and get yards after the catch. His releases are so pure off the line of scrimmage that, especially if you bring him here to Minnesota and have him be the 3rd option besides Justin Jefferson, besides Adam Thielen, that could, if you could have him picking on a 3rd corner, and then if you try to put a linebacker on him, there was certain clips that I was watching on this guy where a linebacker did end up getting put on man-to-man in him, and the linebacker wasn't even close, frankly. He wasn't even close. He didn't put up astronomical numbers at Clemson last year, so we would have seen him going way higher in the draft, but also at the Senior Bowl, he completely lit it up. Like I was saying, at the Senior Bowl, he dominated some of the top seniors in the country. I mean, it was just an absolute clinic. Obviously, at the Senior Bowl, they were doing a lot of one-on-ones, and for a guy like that, a one-on-one drill, good luck for a DB. How quick his burst is, how pure his route running is. Then if you try to press up and jam him, he'll hit you with the releases off the line. He's absolutely incredible. I think he would be a great option as to kind of bring him in there and solidify a wide receiver 3. Obviously, I don't think wide receiver is a need for the Vikings. I am assuming they go trenches with their first 2 picks, I would hope. But if you are looking at taking somebody in the 3rd round with the Vikings' 3rd round pick, and the Vikings and Amari Rodgers was on the board, and I saw him there, I would be 100% behind them taking him. And I've always been saying this whole offseason that I wouldn't necessarily want them to draft the receiver. But you know what? As a Vikings fan, I'm kind of sick of always wondering who the 3rd was. You know, when Thielen and Diggs were here, we were always kind of like, oh, is it going to be Jarius Wright? Is it going to be Olabisi? And now, you know, is it Chad Beebe? Is it who? Draft Amari Rodgers, develop him, and he could seriously be a great number 3 for us. And now my second guy that you guys need to hear about. This is the guy I'm most excited about because I think this is definitely a need we have, and this is Missouri safety Tyree Gillespie. Something you got to know about this guy. This guy is a box safety, and that pretty much just means he loves playing in the box. He's a run stuffer. He can get up and he can lay the boom, and he can really, he is a physical safety. And I think if you would pair him and get him under Harrison Smith, who is very similar like him. You can run him in a bunch of cover one robber looks next to Harrison Smith. If you want to drop Harry back on the backside, bring him down in the box, you can do that. And also, this addresses a huge need for the Vikings because Anthony Harris, I assume, will not be on the team next year. Obviously, a lot can happen. Pay cuts. I mean, you know, he could restructure. I know he's on the franchise tag right now. But then you also look, Harrison Smith's getting up there. And I know he's been still having great years. I'm not saying he's on the way out. I'm just saying Father Time is undefeated. And he's coming. And if you could get Tyree under here, under Harrison's tutelage almost, and I think he could be absolutely fantastic. You know, when you're watching his highlights, obviously you're going to get all of his best plays. But he just jumps off the screen for me as a Jamal Adams type. As I'm coming down, I'm cracking you at the line of scrimmage. He is not the type of safety you necessarily drop back in the cover two, but he's also proven he can do that. For example, against a couple games this past year, the year before, it was Missouri versus Florida. And we all know Kyle Pitts is probably one of the best tight end prospects that have came out of college football over the past 10 years or so. I mean, Pitts is incredible. Tyree Gillespie was matched up man-to-man on him a ton. I think it was a total about 8 reps when he was running a route. And I think Pitts, actually I do know this, Pitts only caught 1 ball on an out route on him, and really he was still in good position. It was just Pitts being a monster. He's got these long arms that when a tight end or even a slot receiver gets matched up on him, he can come around, make a play on the ball. And then also, if you are a receiver coming across the middle of the field, like we've seen Harrison Smith do a ton, he can lay the boom. Listen, if we could roll into next year with our starting receivers being Thielen, obviously Jefferson, and then Amari Rodgers, and our 2 safeties being Tyree Gillespie and Harrison Smith, I mean, I feel like that would be one of the best case scenarios. Also, Tyree Gillespie, he won a lot of the reps versus Alabama when Missouri played them. He was great in the run. Oh, there was 3 clips of when Najee Harris was on the goal line and Tyree Gillespie it was literally just him or Najee Harris. And if Najee wins that rep against him, he's getting in the end zone for 6. He stopped him 2 straight times, one on a dive down the middle, came up, met him in the hole, and then the other, it was a pitch to the weak side of the field. He came all the way over there, forced him out of bounds, and then another player ended up making the tackle. Listen, he's aggressive. This would be an aggressive pick by the Vikings. I want you guys, listen, 2 names, just remember, Amari Rodgers, Tyree Gillespie. These are diamonds in the rough that the Vikings could pick on day 2 or day 3, and it could really help us win a lot of games next year and for the years to come. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Leave a like on the video down below. Comment if you guys have any other sleepers that I have not seen. Really convinced on these 2 guys. Talk to you guys later. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.